Hey, so here we are. Welcome to the Gunman Insta Live. Tonight we've got a special live on. I am sporting my new look Gunman beanie. You've got to make sure you get one of these bad boys. It is sick. It is getting cold now, so make sure you keep yourself warm and you keep yourself looking good. Tonight I have got a brother that has been in the ring with Josh Buatsi. He is going to come on and tell us what it's like to be in with that dude. He's also been in with Chudinov. He's also been in with Yildrim. I don't know if you remember that, brother. Eubank knocked him out impressively in the Super 6. This is Ryan Ford, Ryan the real deal Ford. We're just going to get him on. Let me see if I can add him up. See if I can get him in here. But yeah, jump in, ask this brother some questions. I mean, that's a top effort to get in there with Buatsi, man. That is a top effort to get in there with Buatsi and throw some hands, man. That is not easy. That guy is serious, especially his last performance against Willie Hutchinson was proper. Let me see if I can get the real deal in. Here he is. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
How you doing, my G?
Oh, you know, another day, same grind.
Look at this. What do you think of this? Nice, isn't it?
Bro, it's legit. I'm going to have to get one of those to rep up here in Canada.
Mate, you need to get one of these. Mate, it is cold in here. It is freezing up in here.
It's going to be cold here probably in a few days. We're probably going to get some snow.
Yeah, Canada, you guys get, you get proper minus, don't you?
Oh, it's minus 40.
Oh, there I am complaining. There I am complaining, sitting indoors with my hoodie on and my hat on, and it's not even minus. You know what I mean? But you know, my tropical blood doesn't allow me to agree with the weather. Listen. Welcome to the Gunman Insta Live. This is a platform for exceptional fighters like yourself to come on and spend some time with the fight fans. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. For those that do not know this man, you need to know this man. He is a Canadian fighting machine. He's had 60-odd pro fights across MMA and boxing. He's been in with the likes of Buatsi, Yildrim, Chudinov, to name a few animals that he's shared the ring with. He's impressive, he's heavy-handed, and he's a serial killer. This is Ryan, the real deal Ford, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
My brother, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, wicked, man. It's a pleasure. So listen, you're from Canada, right? You're live in Canada. Is it Vancouver you're at?
No, I'm in Edmonton. We're colder. Vancouver is the nice weather, rain, and you know, about a 12-hour drive. You come to Alberta and you're in minus 40.
12-hour drive.
Crazy.
I said Vancouver because I only know Vancouver and Toronto, so I thought I had a 50-50 chance of getting it right. But mate, it's crazy weather. Listen, why have Canada? You've had some brilliant fighters in Canada come out of Canada. We've had the likes of in boxing out Adonis Stevenson, brilliant fighter in his day. John Pascal. A lot of people don't know this, but Arturo Gatti was Italian-Canadian, absolute warrior. Trevor Berbick, who Mike Tyson beat for his very first title, and I think Berbick beat Ali. I mean, he was at the end, but he beat Ali. And of course, our very own Lennox Lewis, who obviously is Canadian as they come, but we stole him off you.
And you know, it's crazy because a lot of people don't know, like, my background and know, like, you know, where my blood comes from. My dad was ranked number 3 in the world in boxing, a lightweight.
Right.
He fought the Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Michael Logity, Aaron Pryor.
Oh, wow.
People don't know that it's in my blood.
Aaron Pryor, what a fighter.
Yeah, if you go check on BoxRec, my dad's name, Al Ford, A-L FORD. I believe his record on boxer at 55 wins, 19 losses.
Did he? And he fought prior or prior as a relation?
Oh, yeah. My dad fought Ken Buchanan in Wembley Stadium.
Oh, blinking hell. Listen, now we're learning something. Now we're learning something new. Brilliant.
And, like a lot of these people out there, they're casual to sport. They don't know me because I don't know. I never had a promoter to bring me along and and to introduce me to the world. Where me, I just did it on myself. Oh, you want to fight? Okay, I'll fly to your country and fight you. Give you a hard fight.
Would you say then? Obviously, it's in your blood. Would you say you're born to fight, or have you learned to fight?
Yeah, I was born to fight. I got in a lot. See, that's the thing is that I told my mom now. I'm like, Mom, do you imagine if you would have let me box when I was little? But, she saw my dad back in the day, the 15-rounders and stuff, and she would never let us compete. So I never got to fight, and people don't realize I started fighting in 2007. I never had no amateur background, no nothing. I fought on the street. That's what I was. I was like, oh, somebody want to fight? Let's fight. I'm down.
Yeah. Wicked. Would you just fight for no reason? Or because someone touched your bird's ass, or like stole a drink off you or something.
It wouldn't be for no reason. It would be there'd be a reason, and I just be like, okay, well, let's fight. That's how we settle it. Let's fight.
Yeah. Would you ever take multiple men in a street fight?
Shit, man, I've been in a few of those type of brawls.
Really, brilliant.
I've been in a few of those. Oh yeah, outside the club, 3 a.m. in the morning. It's you gotta be looking, swinging and looking.
That's absolutely crazy. Listen, I love to see some people joining the live. Whoever's joining the live, this is a real deal Ford. I'm the Gunman. I interview fighters of all levels. I've had the likes of Bernard Hopkins on here, Roy Jones Jr., Ben Whitaker, Bivol last week. So we have some great fighters on here. So make sure you're following the channel. It is free to follow the channel and support the channel. So follow the Gunman and make sure you're tuning into these great interviews. So Mr. Ford, let's talk about your street fighting because I love that. So how old were you when you had your first ruckus on the road?
I was probably like maybe 12, 13.
Really? Wicked.
Yeah. It was, I grew up, my mom and dad split up and divorced when I was 4 years old. And then, so my dad pretty much, he told me that you're the man of the house. So, take over the man of the house job, all I had to do was be a man. So, it was any little thing, and back in the day, it was the racism, I'm half black, half white, but when I leave my house, I'm black.
Is there a lot of that in Canada?
It's everywhere, it is, but it's especially when I was young, the N-word was a big word that people just like to, think they could just run off, right?
And you had to fight. If anyone called you that when I was a kid, that was it. It was just hands that like let's throw hands. You can't have people calling you. Yeah. 100%.
You say that word, we're fighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Standard. Like if you didn't fight, if someone called you the N-word as a black kid growing up and you didn't fight, there was something wrong with you. Like you had to just throw straight down there and then. That was just how it was, wasn't it?
That's how it was. You got beat up or you beat them up. It is what it is.
And most of the time we beat them up. Yeah. So have you done any jail time or have you always avoided, that side of thing? I mean, I only ask because I speak with a lot of colourful characters, as you'd imagine. Even Bernard Hopkins learned to box in jail. He was naughty on the roads. I'm speaking with people that have, come from hardship. Were you a kid that came from hardship and did you eat any jail time?
Yeah, that's actually where I got into fighting. I ended up getting in some trouble in 2005 and did a few years in the penitentiary here out in Canada. And before I went in, I was like thinking I was going to box. And then you know, sitting in my cell back in 2005. This is when the Ultimate Fighter show came on Spike TV. So, you know, I'm sitting in my cell watching a little 14-inch TV, and I'm watching the Ultimate Fighter go down, and I'm like, what is this? Like, man, and I'm like, I watched a few episodes, and I'm like, you know what? When I get out, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I said, forget the boxing. I get to be wild. You know? And you know what? It's crazy because 2.5 weeks after I got out, I had my first MMA fight.
Oh, really? I wanted to talk about that, actually. I wanted to talk about your MMA. So I seen you had 60 pro fights, but when I did my research on BoxRec, I think you were like 19 wins and 9 losses in boxing. So I assume the rest of those fights were MMA. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm 24-6 in mixed martial arts, and I'm 17-9 in boxing. But
yeah, so I knew 30 fights were missing. I was thinking, bloody hell, this guy's had 30 MMA fights.
Yeah. You know, and it's people don't understand. You know, they look at the records, but they don't understand boxing. They don't understand boxing as a business.
Yeah.
You know, me, I'm 17-9.
Yeah.
But if you really break it down, you know, I believe that, you know, I've lost maybe 2 of those losses.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You get robberies, especially in the amateurs. It's even worse. But
yeah, and professional, I'm a black guy coming to Germany to fight a German fighter. You don't knock them out, you don't win. Yeah,
I mean you have to knock him out to get a draw, my brother.
Yeah, you might get disqualified. You know what? It was crazy because my last boxing fight, I fought a guy in Germany by the name of what's his name? Shafat Usafi. He was like, I fought him for the WBF World Light Heavyweight title. And I'm telling you, like, I beat this guy up from round 1 to round 12. After the 5th round, my coach looks at me and goes, Ryan, look at him. And I look over at him in the corner, and his face is busted up. Yeah. And I'm like, man, we're winning this fight. Like, bro, they robbed me.
Oh.
Russ Amber tweeted on the thing. He's like, I don't know. If you guys would have knocked him out, you guys probably would have got disqualified. Yeah. I mean, it's dispiriting, isn't it? And a lot of fighters probably want to quit the game when you train so hard, probably spend time away from your family and your friends, sacrifice it, and you beat the absolute shit out of someone. And then Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles are on the judging panel, and they're telling you that you didn't win. And you know, everyone knows when you're fighting, you know who's winning. You know who's winning, don't you? And it's crazy because I'm not even from these countries. And when I leave the ring, I have a lineup of about 50 people saying, you're the champion. You're the champion. You won, you know? Even one of the guys we spoke, Avin Yildrim, I fought him in Cologne, Germany for the super middleweight WBC title.
Yeah.
I beat him.
You gave him some licks.
Come up on TV, 117, 115, Ryan Ford. Who did they give the belt to? Yeah, he won it. That was after he fought Eubank, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, it was after he fought. It was about 2 fights after he fought Eubank, wasn't it? I think 1 or 2. Yeah, because he got absolutely drilled by Eubank. I mean, Eubank, that was the best Eubank I think we've seen. That was his best when he just nailed Yildrim with hooks after hooks and then just stood over him. You know what I mean? Like like that's how, you know, we want to see Chris fight more often over here in the UK. It was absolutely brutal. Listen, so you've been in with Buatsi, Josh Buatsi, who's highly rated here on these shores. So I'm in London. He's actually from literally 10 minutes from here, Croydon, not where I am. Like literally, he's from where I am, and he's really highly rated. He trained. I mean, I'm just in Croydon now, so he trains literally just like 5 minutes up the road from here. Highly rated. You fought him at the O2 Arena. Can you tell the fans what it was like to share the ring with that guy? Man, you know what? Like, it was good. You know, it was fighting on the Lomachenko undercard at the O2 Arena with those many fans. I brought Buatsi past. You know, he never been past the 5th round. And you know, everybody says, "Oh, you know, you were losing, you're losing." But when I look at it, I was just starting to get going. I'm a 12-round fight.
Yeah, you lost in 7 rounds, didn't you?
I lost in the 7th round, but really, you go back and you watch that fight, I was low blowed in the 7th round and rapid punch.
It was a low shot. Yeah, it was a debatable shot. Yeah, that's.
I got it on film. The crazy thing about it is when you have Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn behind you, they don't show those camera angles.
Well, listen, you know, we know the game. We know the game. You know, like, you know, it is what it is. You have your A-side fighter. I mean, let's be honest. We all know the game. You have your A-side fighter. You're coming over from abroad to fight in his own home yard. You know, like you said, you have to knock him out to get a draw. That's the fact. Why do you take fights like that?
With no risk, no reward.
Or was it just straight up money?
No, like, and that's what everybody thinks. But people don't understand. I didn't have a promoter. I didn't have a manager. You know, I did my whole boxing career on my own. I like to fight. You know? You
love to fight.
So you telling me
you love to fight.
Over to Siberia, Russia, and you're gonna pay me, and I get to do what I love to do, and I get to see other countries that I've never been to.
Yeah.
Shit, sign me the contract. You know?
Yeah, beautiful.
And for me, I'm not one of those fighters that come down to lay down.
Yeah. No, you always bring it, man. You always bring it.
That's the thing. It's like, and you know, I feel that some promoters use me as a gatekeeper to some of these fighters, because if you can't get past me, a guy who has no amateur background, who came from MMA, if you can't get past me, you can't go to the top.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, isn't it? I suppose.
That's how I looked at it, right? And for me, I would always come in. I'm coming in to fight. So you know, if it's a 12-round fight, you go in 12 rounds. I'm bringing you 12 rounds, and after that fight, you can be like, damn, that was a rough fight.
Yeah. I mean, mate, you've been with some killers. Listen, who's the hardest brother that you've fought? You fought Buatsi, Yildrim, Chudinov, some great fighters. Who's the hardest you fought in boxing?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, it was not even a fight. It was sparring.
Really?
And the man is fighting this weekend. Arthur Bet Your Beef.
Oh, really? You sparred him?
Bro, 10 days, I did 36 rounds with this man. This guy is a killer. I've never felt power in both hands from heavyweight MMA fighters that I spar with.
Wow.
To better beef. This guy is another level.
Really? I've heard, like, sparring him, one of our British fighters, Dan Aziz, said...
Me and Dan were there. We helped him get ready for
was Dan there? That was the same spar. Dan said, when he first sparred him, he said, as soon as you're in the ring with him, it's like the ring is just shrinking.
Crazy.
There's just nowhere to go. There's just shrinks. And he said, as he approaches you, everything's just shrinking. And then you're in his world then.
Oh, yeah. And the rounds are 3 minutes, 20 seconds. And he wears 18-ounce gloves. We wear 16s.
Right.
4 guys, 1 round to 12 rounds. And once you get to that 6th, 7th round, this dude's notch is turned up.
Really? Wow, that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Brilliant to hear. Great story, that. Listen, I was at his fight against Yard. I think that was his last fight, actually. Oh, no, he might have had one since. But anyway, I was at his fight with Anthony Yard. It was in Wembley Conference Centre, I think. It was one of the best fights. I go to pretty much all of the major fights that I can. And it was one of the best fights I've seen in such a long time. And one thing I was really surprised with Beterbiev, I was just expecting to see this absolute brute, but I was so surprised at his punch economy. Like, he didn't waste a thing. I didn't see him throw and miss. His accuracy was just phenomenal. And his footwork really surprised me. I thought he was just going to be a plod forward, coming back, one punch bang man. But his footwork is phenomenal. And I fancy him against Bivol. And I've interviewed Bivol, and he's a lovely guy, but I just think he's not going to be able to keep this guy off him. What do you think?
That's the thing with me too. It's like it goes either way. Like, I'm like, I don't think Bivol can knock Beterbiev out. I know he can outpoint him with the volume.
Yeah.
But Beterbiev can knock Bivol out.
Yeah. And Bivol can't knock him out?
If he couldn't knock out Canelo, I don't know.
He hasn't knocked anyone out for 3 years, apparently. Bivol, I think. Something like that.
But the thing is with him is the volume. The volume, the movement with him, that outside, the USSR style.
Yeah. He's in, he's out. And the way he turns over, like his jab, like he turns it over. If you've seen what he turns his jab over. I don't know if I can see very well, but he turns his jab over almost, like right over. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's clapping you with the backhand sort of thing.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but I think you know what I mean. And he generates some good power from that. And, look, we've seen loads of fighters without the one punch bang. There's been loads of top level fighters that are knockout artists. Look at Andre Ward. Look at Andre Ward. Look at Shakur Stevenson. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Bivol himself. There's loads of guys that haven't had that, the bang, that pop, that snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, yeah. No.
Joe Calzaghe. Yeah. Joe Calzaghe. Like, they can but these guys can just peck you to death.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like that's a little bit worse than the one punch bang.
I don't know if that's worse, but yeah, it must be annoying. It must be annoying, because think if I was there in Canada now and I just started poking you just constantly, you'd get annoyed, wouldn't you? Like, you'd just be like, get off.
Yeah. You know what? And I had that in my first the fight when I fought Fedor Chudinov.
Yeah.
He's that type of puncher too. Not that one punch bang.
Yeah.
But that pop, just like that. Peck, and it's just like, bro, get out of my face.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? Listen, what's the difference between MMA and boxing, and what do you prefer? What are the main differences?
MMA, you can be more ruthless. MMA, you can be more ruthless. Boxing, the skill. There's skill in both, but I would say the MMA way more harder on your body.
Harder on your body, yes. But why do MMA fighters, they could never live with boxers' cardio?
Because when you look at MMA, there's a lot of stalling, right? You grab your guy, you put him up against the cage, you can sit there for a minute. You take him down, get the knife to the ground position, you can sit there for a minute. Boxing, you get in the clinch, right away, ref come in, break it up.
And even when you're in a clinch, you're pushing for position, trying to get little shots in.
And where MMA, I feel that you can rest a little bit more. Whereas, and also too, MMA fighters punch different than boxers.
Yeah.
Boxers way harder punches than MMA fighter. Just because of the crisp skill of the punching, right?
Yeah, a lot straighter, isn't it? A lot straighter. And obviously with straight shots, they come at you quick and with snap, don't they?
See, and that's the thing is, people need to understand with mixed martial arts, you have one day of putting everything together. Boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. You can't get great. Whereas boxing, your repetition, one thing all the time, every day. You can get great at that. But once you have all these other disciplines, you can be great at one and good at the rest.
Mm.
So that's for me. It's the strain on the body from mixed martial arts.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair to say. Listen, you're 42 years old now, right? And they say boxing, a lot of coaches and a lot of people would tell you, like specialists in boxing, they will say boxing is a young man's game. But actually, when we look at the facts, it isn't. All the top champions that we mentioned, Beterbev's 40, Bivol's deep into his 30s, Lomachenko deep into his 30s, Usyk, Fury, Crawford, Spence, they're all in their 30s and moving on, just to name a few. How much longer do you think you can go on for? You're 42. Why are you still fighting?
I love this shit, man. You know what? I love the challenge, and for me, I get up every day, and first thing is go to the gym. I'm in the gym every day. You know, once I get that, I don't feel like going to the gym. That's when you quit fighting.
100%.
Because this is not people go to a desk job. You get to your job, you don't like the work, they say you fired. Well, in this, you fired means get your ass beat or get knocked out. And none of those I don't want. I don't want any of those.
With what I just said though, are you accepting that your best days are behind you, or are you actually thinking, actually, I'm older now, I'm more experienced than I used to be when I was younger, and now I'm actually going to be a better fighter now I've got, say, 500 rounds in the bank compared to when I was young and I only fought 10 rounds. I'm actually more experienced. And you're seeing, like I said, all these champions in boxing, they're all older. There's not really, young kids that are winning the title, only in the lighter weight divisions. But are you actually thinking your best days might actually be ahead of you?
Yeah, you know what? I know I got a lot more to give in me. But, for me, I think that whole COVID bullshit screwed up my shit.
Your rhythm, yeah.
Because, I'm here at home. I don't have a coach here. Before I even started boxing, I was my own coach. I didn't have a coach. My whole fight career until I got my coach, Jesse Thompson, who was in Montreal, who is now in Florida. But, I would leave home all the time for 6-7 weeks at a time to get ready for a fight. But then after that fight, I would come back home for 2-3 months, train myself, whereas if I was still in Montreal, I'd be training, but getting better as I go.
What would you say to someone who hasn't seen you fight in boxing? What would you say your style is? How would you describe yourself?
Forward pressure.
Yeah.
Non-stop, apply pressure. You know what? My coach, we worked on my defense. And that's the thing is I tell people, go watch my fights. I don't get hit a lot. My gloves get hit,
Yeah.
And I told people, if I were to get my ass beat, like I've seen some guys, like Cotto in the back room, busted up like this, I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I love to fight, but I got to make sure that my shit is right.
Yeah.
I still want to be talking like this when I'm 50.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuttering, and I don't want to be, having those type of problems. So, for me, it was you work on your defense. You have a good defense, it makes the fight a lot easier.
Yeah. What would you say to perhaps your critics that would say that you've got no footwork and often you're plodding forward and need to sort of try and make it a phone box fight for you to be able to get your work off?
You don't know shit about boxing. Straight up. It's crazy, man, because
you haven't got that in and out flow with your feet. You're not like elusive. You're not elusive.
I never had an amateur background.
Yeah, you don't defend with your feet. You defend with your gloves. There's three ways you can defend, isn't there? You know, head movement, parrying with your gloves, and using your feet. And using your feet isn't one of your ways you defend. Is that something that you need to try and improve on, or is that something that you're never going to really be a wizard at?
I'm never going to be a wizard at that, you know. And me, I don't want to go back. I want to come forward.
Yeah.
my defense is hands up, move forward, and most likely that's going to throw your game off because you're going to throw some big shot, and you're going to be like, why does this guy just keep coming forward?
Yeah.
That's what happened with Joshua Buatsi.
Yeah.
I kept coming forward. Defense was on lock. He couldn't hit my body. I can guarantee you after the 7th round or 6th round, his coach said, go low.
Oh, really? Just to slow you down?
That's the only way he was touching my body.
Yeah.
Because I heard him. I heard his coach. Hit the body. His guard's too good.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. You're tight and tucked up. Listen, can Buatsi go on and win a world title, in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure he can. Yeah. He's got the skill. He's got everything, the tools to make that happen. With me, I just look like, I know he makes a lot of money in his fight. That's maybe why he doesn't fight as often. Or I don't know his whole contract, whatever was going on a little while ago, why he didn't fight for a while. But, you know, I believe that, you know, that 100% he could become world champion for sure.
Last question from me. Like, why was Lennox Lewis so disregarded by the Canadians? And he's one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. Like, you can argue that he's actually right in there in the mix as one of the best fighters of all times. Can you remember why he was disregarded by Canada, or was it him that just was like, I want to be more of a Brit? Can you remember anything about that from your side of the?
Yeah, you know, I do, but I think it was the British. You know, him being the British side, and bro, I'll tell you right now, here in Canada, they're weak. The people here, they soft. Canada's very soft.
Really?
So I understand why he would say, you know what, I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, but then the Brits didn't really take to him. You know, the Brits were like, "Oh, he's Canadian," and the Canadians didn't take to him. "Oh, he's Brit. He wants to be a Brit. He's not one of us." And he was a bit in limbo. And a lot of people like Bruno, who was not a brilliant fighter, you know, but he was much more popular at the time. He was nowhere near as skilled as Lennox Lewis. If you remember back, he was like really popular. But we're at a stage over here in the UK where we still love, like, you know, like popular, you know, the lovable loser. You know what I mean?
The lovable loser.
Yeah, we used to always love a lovable loser. It was part of our makeup over here in the UK, like Tim Henman in the tennis, and you know, like a nearly man that we all like love, and you know, Frank Bruno in the boxing, and you know, the England football team. Yeah, we all go absolutely mad, but they never win a thing. Or soccer team, as you call it. You know, we've always liked lovable losers. You know, oh, he's a good player, but he never wins anything. You know, so listen. Quickly before I wrap up, I must ask you about influencer boxing. We've got a massive show that's going to be announced soon. I'm not allowed to give anything away. But 3X Boxing, I'm one of the partners in. I do all the commentary and media for them. And I also help with some of the matchmaking. It's a big show over here in London. It's at the O2 Arena. There's an announcement coming very shortly on it. I would love to see you back over here fighting again. Would you consider influencer boxing?
Man, that's what this generation is about. It's crazy. And you know, and I'm getting slack of it for calling these guys out, but it's like, I don't understand. Like, I know back in the day when I first started fighting, you know, everybody just wanted to fight. But, you know, Jake Paul came along and he changed the game. And you got to admit, like, he's bringing the eyes onto the sport. And you know what? Yeah, I'm over 40. influencer boxing, shit. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. I'm down.
Listen, it's a business at the end of the day, and Jake Paul's shown if you've got following or if you can sell tickets, if you can sell pay-per-view, you can get to the top of this game even if you're not the best fighter. And we're seeing it now with shows over here now. Guys with following getting main event because they've got followers, not because they can fight. You know, we're seeing influencer shows where, honestly, a genuinely good fighter, good amateur fighter, could probably beat up the whole roster. But people want to see a guy from a reality TV show or a guy from EastEnders or Coronation Street or one of these these are sort of soaps that we have over here. Like, I don't know.
Tommy Fury, Love Island.
Yeah, there you go. Good man. Okay, you see, you watch those as well. So, I was thinking.
I was trying to call out that case. I said I'd even get up to heavyweight to fight him. Like he's scared too. Yeah. No, I'd love to see you on 3X Boxing, and hopefully we can get you on there. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I think it's a good route for you guys. I'm not being bad, but you, like you said, you're over 40. You've achieved so much, and you love fighting. So if you can flip over, this crossover boxing is really becoming popular, and there's demand for it. So you'd be foolish to ignore it, wouldn't you? 100%. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm not trying to fight the 26-year-old up-and-comer.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
I've been there. I don't have nothing to prove.
Yeah, 100.
I have to fight, So now it's like I never got to pick my fight.
Yeah. We've lost your sound. Can you hear me? Yeah, we've got you back. We've got your sound back. So you never got to pick your fights?
Yeah, I never ever picked my fight. Somebody said to fight, boom, I would fight. But now I'm at that age where it's like, this is what people want to see, I want to fight guys that are my age. Mm-hmm. They've been around. They've been fighting. That's why I called out that Uriah Hall. And the funny thing about that call out, I called him, Darren Till, George Masvidal. I called out like 5 guys. I just say, hey, you guys are boxing now. I said, yo, let's lace up. Who wants to lace up? Let's do this. Then Uriah Hall's the only one who came back, but and I didn't even call him out disrespectfully. I said, I just want to fight. Then he want to come back and start talking. And I'm like, bro, please don't give me pointers on boxing. I said, if you want to give me pointers on kicks, hey, I'll listen. But don't tell me how to punch.
Right. Yeah. Those are all some brilliant fights there that you just named now. I'm just thinking about them all. I'm thinking, yeah, I'd love to see all of those. Nice Speedy.
Out there where you're at, Arthur. Arthur.
Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah, he runs the boxing. There's a boxing influencer boxing out there. He wanted me to come out and fight him.
Oh, I can't think who that is. Who to fight? Who? Sorry.
Unleashed boxing.
Yeah. They wanted to come and fight who? Sorry.
The guy who runs it, Arthur.
Oh, okay. One of the guys who runs it. Okay. Yeah. Why did that not happen?
Well, I just told him. I said, they couldn't get. I guess they couldn't get the sponsors or something, whatever, to come in. And I was just like, yeah, bro. I said, hey, listen, I'll come down. I'll give you rounds. I'm like, how many rounds do you want to do? He was like, well, I think I can only do 4 rounds. And I said, hey, I'll come put on a show.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, like, if we doing these influencer boxing, I'm coming to put on a show. I'm gonna make sure the crowd is like, damn, this is a fight. Like hands down, dude. Like, make it a show. This is what it's about now.
Yeah.
And I'm down to get down. Like I said, I started my career at MMA 170. I fought 168 all the way to cruiserweight. So right now, I'll fight, these influencers. I'll fight heavyweight guys.
Yeah.
I'll have some fun.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I'd love to see you on that scene. I think it's suited for you now. You've had 60, fights, 60 odd fights. You've got nothing really in my mind to prove. There's no point trying to chase world titles. It's just my opinion. You may as well. You love doing what you do, so you're a prize fighter. Go and grab the prizes now and enjoy yourself. Is that fair to say?
I love fighting. That's the thing is, I'm in the gym every sparring session with these young kids there, and they're just like, "Coach, how do you do this?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cause I love this shit. That's why." You know?
You're born to do it, Mr. Real Deal. You're born to do it.
Sir.
Listen, have you got a final message for your fans and your supporters? There's been some really lovely comments flying in. I've also got you streaming on YouTube as well as Insta, and some good comments flying in, wishing you well. Have you got a message for your fans that have supported you over the years?
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you for the support. You guys obviously respect what I'm doing and see that, that I'm not just a guy just in here doing it. I want to make sure that, I put my name out there and make sure that I give hard fights, proper fights. And, and also to the haters, haters are my motivators.
Yeah.
I love it. You guys don't understand that you keep it going too,
Yeah.
Can't only have people who love me, got to have the people who hate me too.
Yeah, no, listen, yeah, mate. Even I get people, that don't want to see me do well. Even running a boxing channel. So let alone when you're fighting, and it just drives you on to be more successful. A lot of the time, if you're a winner, that just drives you on to be more successful. And, so keep doing what you do. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. I really do hope one day I can be at one of your fights. And I really hope that's in London as well. But I wouldn't mind coming to Canada.
Yeah. But you want to come here in the summertime?
Yeah. I wear my beanie at home at the moment because it's freezing. But you guys doing that minus 40 thing? Nah, man.
No.
Nah, there's no need. There's no need for that.
Trust me, I've been trying to get out of here.
There's no need for that minus 40 thing. You know what I mean? That's just bad behaviour, that is, mate. That's just bad behaviour. Minus 40. Mate, you'll be talking and your mouth will freeze, isn't it?
Oh, hey, shit, man. I got to start my truck 3 times before I get out in that bitch.
Thank you so much for coming on, big man. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, take care. I'll stay in touch, yeah? Let's speak soon.
Yes, for sure. All right, bro.
100%. Take it easy, my G.
See you, brother.
What an absolute legend. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And it's good to hear from fighters that perhaps we don't know so well. But that is Ryan, the real deal Ford. He's a Canadian fighting machine. He's fought against Josh Buatsi at the O2. He got stopped in 7 rounds. But he has also fought against Chudinov, who got done by Groves when George Groves won a title. And he also has been in with Avin Yildrim, who Eubank Jr. done in the Super 6, smashed him down and stood over him. So he's been in with some serious operators, had 60-odd fights, 30-odd MMA fights. I think he's 17-9 in the professional boxing ranks. Really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. So listen, make sure you smash that like button on the Gunman channel and watch my videos. Smash the like button, comment, let us know what you like, let us know what you don't like, and share the channel. Keep on watching. We've got some sick interviews coming up, some badass interviews coming. Make sure you're involved. Thank you for tuning in, my people. See you soon. Gunman out. Safety catch on. Take it easy, my G's.